Dash dash dash. The night air was cool and smelled faintly of rain when the patrol car rolled slowly into the empty parking lot near the old docks. The city slept, but corruption never did. Two police officers stepped out, boots heavy, voices louder than necessary, already bored and already hunting for something to break. That's when they saw him. A quiet man standing under a flickering streetlight, dark jacket zipped halfway, eyes lowered. Beside him sat a German shepherd, calm, alert, intelligent. The kind of dog that didn't bark without reason. To the officers, it looked like an easy target. A drifter, a nobody, someone who wouldn't fight back. "Hey you," one of them called out, hand resting casually on his baton. "What are you doing here?" The man looked up slowly, his face unreadable. He didn't speak right away. That silence irritated them. People were supposed to answer quickly, nervously. This man didn't. The dog stayed seated, muscles relaxed but ready, eyes watching every movement. "Didn't you hear me?" the second cop snapped, stepping closer. "This area's restricted at night." The man finally spoke, his voice calm, almost gentle. "Just waiting. That was it. That was all. No apology. No fear." The first officer laughed sharply. "Waiting for what? Trouble?" The German shepherd shifted slightly, placing itself half a step closer to the man. That small movement triggered something ugly in the officers. One of them pointed at the dog. "Control your mutt, or I will." The man's eyes hardened just a fraction. "He's under control." The baton tapped against a palm. "You got ID." The man reached into his jacket slowly. Too slowly for their liking. "Careful," one officer warned, voice rising. "Don't make sudden moves." The ID was handed over. The officer barely glanced at it. He wasn't interested in names. He was interested in power. "This says you don't live around here," he said. "Which means you're trespassing." "That's not true," the man replied evenly. The baton came out, not yet swinging, just visible. "A threat. You calling me a liar?" The German shepherd stood now. Silent, steady, no growl. That made it worse. "I said control the dog." The second officer barked, stepping forward aggressively. "Stop," the man said. Not loud, not angry, just firm. Something snapped. The first officer shoved him hard in the chest. The man stumbled back a step but didn't fall. The dog moved instantly, positioning itself between them, body tense now, teeth still hidden. "That's a police dog," one officer sneered. "Doesn't look like it." "No," the man said quietly. "He's mine." The baton swung, not at the man, at the dog. What happened next took less than a second. The German shepherd moved with precision, intercepting the blow, knocking the baton aside without biting, without chaos. Pure discipline, pure training. The man's hand shot out, gripping the officer's wrist, twisting just enough to make him cry out. "Hands off," the man said. Still calm. The second officer reached for his gun. That was the moment everything changed. The man released the wrist and stepped back, hands raised. "Bad idea," he said. They laughed. "You threatening cops now?" Sirens wailed in the distance. Not police sirens. Something heavier. Black SUVs rolled in silently from both ends of the lot, headlights cutting through the darkness like blades. Doors opened. Men stepped out, not shouting, not running, moving with controlled speed. One of them spoke into a radio. "Target confirmed." The corrupt officers froze. "What the hell is this?" One whispered. The man lowered his hands. His posture changed. No longer passive, no longer quiet. It was like watching a switch flip. Calm became command. A man in civilian clothes approached and flashed credentials so fast they barely registered. "Internal Affairs," he said coldly. "And Naval Criminal Investigative Service." The officers' faces drained of color. The quiet man reached into his jacket again, this time pulling out a folded badge and insignia. He handed it over. "Chief Petty Officer," he said. "United States Navy." The words didn't hit immediately. The second officer laughed nervously. "So what? Navy guy thinks he's tough." The NCIS agent looked at him like he was already finished. "SEAL team," he added. Silence crashed down harder than any shout. The German shepherd sat again, perfectly obedient, eyes never leaving the officers. One of the corrupt cops stammered, "We didn't know." "That's the problem," the SEAL replied. "You didn't care." Cuffs snapped shut. Cameras came out. Everything was recorded. Complaints that had vanished. Videos that had been buried. Tonight wasn't random. It was a test, and they had failed spectacularly. As they were led away, one officer looked back, fear-ridden plain across his face. "Why you?" he asked weakly. The SEAL knelt beside his dog, resting a hand on its head. "Because you hurt people who can't fight back," he said. "And tonight, you picked the wrong quiet man." The city woke up the next morning to headlines that shook the department. Corruption exposed. Officers arrested. A story leaked about a German shepherd that stood its ground and a man who didn't raise his voice once. But what the public didn't know was how close it had come to real violence. How the SEAL had measured every second, choosing restraint over destruction. Because he could have ended it in moments. He had done far worse in places without names. Weeks later, the SEAL stood at the docks again, same place, same light. This time, no patrol cars. Just silence. He threw a ball. The German shepherd ran, fast and free. Somewhere nearby, a new officer watched from a distance, remembering the story they'd all been told in training. About the night power met discipline. About the stranger who didn't look dangerous until it was too late to matter. And somewhere deep in the system, a warning echoed quietly. Not every quiet man is weak. And not every dog is just a dog.